This program has been brought to you by Cell One and Butterfield and Vallis.
Welcome to 2015's 10 Most Fascinating People of Bermuda. I'm Lisa Pickering. Everyone has a story, a little something that makes them unique, especially right here in Bermuda. But what does it mean to be fascinating? We've put together a list of 10 Bermudians that captured the headlines in 2015. Whether they've been the subject of controversy or of great praise, there isn't an individual on this list that hasn't come up in conversation around the dinner table, at the office, or at social gatherings. Each individual featured on this list share one thing in common. They all have shown passion, determination, and perseverance in the face of setbacks. The list is in no particular order, but the final subject revealed is this year's most fascinating person of Bermuda. Let's get started. Like many survivors of child sexual abuse, Debbie Ray Rivers would see her perpetrator freely walking the streets, serving as a constant reminder of the abuse which a staggering estimated 1 in 3 females and 1 in 5 males in Bermuda will be victims to. When the same fate tragically befell a member of her immediate family, Debbie knew she had to act, not only to heal, but to bring the plight of these child victims out of the dark and into the light. In 2011, after hearing her story, local businessman John Brunson joined forces with Debbie to form Scars, saving children and revealing secrets. Since then, close to 4,000 residents have participated in their Stewards of Children's Sexual Abuse Prevention Training. The Scars isn't just about prevention, they also work with adult survivors, helping them take that important first step of revealing in order to heal.
Yeah, I think, statistics will tell us that more than 90% of the time the perpetrator is known to their victim. And so when you really start to add color to what that means, it really changes the dynamic about how you think about child protection. The idea of stranger danger is less of a risk to our children than people that know them and people that we trust. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, black or white, you live in Tuckerstown or Middletown, it just doesn't matter. And that in order to really protect our children, you have to really think about the risks that are there and how you can minimize those.
So Debbie, in speaking your own story and your own truth, how challenging was that at first to be able to reveal that part of your life that obviously must be very painful to be able to bring up again?
Yeah, it was. I think the place that I had to get to was to know that all of it was none of our faults. As a survivor myself of sexual abuse, I had to understand that what happened to me, I was too young to understand, and that the two people that did this to me and stole my innocence, took advantage. Took advantage because I was vulnerable, I was young, I was confused. And so the first thing I had to do to break through this wall of shame, because that's what it is to understand that I did nothing wrong and I didn't cause it.
And you were just talking about how many local residents have been trained in your workshops and your education programs. We're at about, you were just saying, 3,800 local residents. In 2013, you had mentioned that your goal for the next 5 years was to have 2,250 local residents trained. Are you overwhelmed with the response from the community?
Well, yeah, we certainly are, and I think this is a testament to the fact that it's needed, that we're ready, Bermuda's ready to heal. That's what we're doing. By addressing child sexual abuse, we're healing our people.
I would say, I remember when we first started, Debbie and I, we trained about 150 stewards. And it was just Debbie and I, and we thought, how are we going to keep this pace up? We're exhausted. And 4 years on, we're now at almost 3,800 trained stewards.
Our training is 7 days a week, Monday to Sunday, 7 nights a week. And we have 42 facilitators that this would not be possible without, and also a board that provides direction for us as well. So this is a testament to everybody who's part of the SCARS team, and we're just really proud and grateful.
The work that we've done and the support that we've have in the community, and those that have become advocates in our Stewards of Children training, they have become a part of a movement that has put Bermuda in the forefront of tackling this issue on the world stage. I think it is true to say that Bermuda is one of a very small minority of countries that can say more than 10% of its adult population has been trained in child protective training.
Now, you had mentioned prevention. What are some of the methods we can take in terms of prevention?
Well, I mean, there's, in our Stewards of Children training, we provide the construct behind the tools. And those tools are grounded on 3 basic fundamentals. And those fundamentals are, first, making choices. And understanding that when we talk about this issue of child sexual abuse, there's choices that we have to make. And, you know, many times people will choose a path of least resistance. They don't want to get involved. They don't want to expose the family. They don't want to suffer the shame. Or they just opt to do nothing and typically what we call sweep it under the carpet. The next principle is taking risks. And taking risks simply says is that we have to step outside our comfort zone to do the right thing. If you think that you know, a child has either discovered that a child has been sexually abused either through discovery, disclosure, or suspicion, then it forces you, especially those that are mandated to report, to take action. And you're accountable for that action. And so it feels risky, especially in a small community like Bermuda. So, you know, taking risk is another key principle. And lastly is supporting each other. People are more likely to address this issue and take it head on if they know that they're supported.
The work that SCARS is doing in the community is not only reducing children from being sexually abused, but I think we're also reducing the amount of sex offenders because we're learning boundaries. We're teaching boundaries at a young age, at a very early age, that children are not to touch others and nobody should touch them.
So what is your thoughts then on a sex offender registry?
You know, we do believe and support the idea of a public sex offenders registry, but we think that real reform in the community is required in that mandatory treatment, sex offender management, a registry of some sort, whether it's public or not, preventative training, making it mandatory, and then redefining, rewriting our laws so that we have tougher penalties that will serve as more of a deterrent for anyone who would even contemplate the idea.
The sex offenders list main purpose is not to shame sex offenders. It's to protect children. And I think that's what we have to wrap our heads around.
And in terms of the throne speech initiatives we saw this year that were mentioned, were you happy with some of the things that the government is willing to work on or is planning to work on?
They've formed a joint select committee of the House of Assembly, and we've been working with them on reform. So we think that that's positive. You know, we've met with the Premier on this issue and his permanent secretary, and they're supportive of the direction that we're going in. And we know that the governor and his wife and the assistant deputy governor support what we're doing.
And just last question, but what is your end goal or end vision for SCARS? What would you like to see happen? You seem like you found success already.
Yeah, every adult to hear this message. Every new parent, even every young adult that is not a parent yet, to see what they can do to save their children from this crime. And I think we're going to accomplish that. We'd like every organization that is entrusted with the care of children to hear the message and then to put policies and procedures in place that will reduce the risk. So that's our goal, every adult. And we're not going to stop until that happens.
Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you check out Bernews every weekday up until January 28th for more conversation with Bermuda's 10 most fascinating people of 2015. And please, if you know of any individual who you think deserves to be on this year's list, let us know by emailing us at bermiebios@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.
This program has been brought to you by Cell One and Butterfield and Vallis.
With Cell One, you simply get more. More 4G speed and reliability across the island. More warranty coverage from the only carrier authorized to resell Apple iPhones in Bermuda. More first-class service with our 24/7 customer care, whether you're in-store, on the phone, or online. More services, mobile phones, long distance, and home internet, all with one company. Get more with one. Sell one.